I'm not like, that's why I fuck with you, bro. Because you can actively help niggas. Like, you feel me? Whether it's filing a petition. I stay in my lane, bro. You ready, Gina? So welcome back to another episode of Intentional Growing Men. I got right here my boy with me, Dionis Fernandez.
Dionis Fernandez.
The owner, Father Speak Up, one of the dopest movements, the dopest movement right now in New York City or wherever. He's actually actively helping fathers fill out petitions. He's meeting them at the courthouse, just helping them do the step-by-step, day-to-day of you know, trying to get custody or, you know, fight for their kids. So that's dope, bro. Like,
when I made the movement, Father Speak Up, so I started making the movement December 24th, because I was like, all right, I got this big platform, like, what am I gonna do next?
Right.
So on Christmas Day, I took one of my friends with me, like, take a ride with me. He like, wait, I'm like, just come. I went in front of Queen's Family Court, like around 6 at night. It was already getting dark out, and I made a video, you know, like, hey, right now I'm going viral. I got a movement for fathers that are fighting to be part of their children's life, blah, blah, blah. Then I was telling people, like, the reason I made the name Father Speak Up is because I thought about my son. I saw his face, him saying it to me, Father Speak Up, you know? So I didn't do it, Father Speak Up, like, for the fathers to speak up. Like, I don't want us to do it for us. I want us to do it for our children.
So
because
imagine them say,
them saying
Father
that,
speak up, like, Daddy help.
Because a lot of people was getting confused. They're like, Fathers Speak Up, like with the extra S. I was like, no, Father Speak Up, because we all individually, we all going through a certain thing. So it's like your child saying, Father Speak Up and stuff like that. So when I made that movement, then, like I said, I had that interview with the guy that from right there. I was like, I'm going to start interviewing fathers, stuff like that. So when I started going to family court, I started with Queens. Then I think I went to Staten Island. I went to Brooklyn. Every time I went to the family court, I at least found one or two fathers that was willing to speak up about what they was going on, fighting for their children. So right there, it became a movement. Somebody in UK reached out to me, like, all over. I'm going through the same thing over here. That's when my boys started calling me, like, yo, you really viral.
Yo,
like,
bro,
this
like,
is a movement.
you
got
bro.
people on the whole other side of the world reaching out, talking about they support the Father Speak Up movement, because I got people in Cali, a lot of people in Florida, New Jersey, like, this is all over. So now people's reaching out to me because they're like, yo, I never heard of nobody having no type of movement for fathers, helping fathers, nothing like that. So right now, you're the voice for all the fathers, and, you know, I appreciate what you do. And then the more fathers that started doing it, the more fathers and more fathers that started participating, they started speaking up, and then it just became a movement. And then I was like, I love it. Like, you know, I can't see my son, and I'm fighting for him, and there's a lot of fathers doing the same thing. So let's just all get together, be one loud voice, so we could be able to support each other, you know, fight, so we could be part of our children's life. And
that's so dope,
that's what I started doing.
So what is the goal with Father Speak Up? Like,
so, like, the goal with Father Speak Up, like, what I want to do, number one, is I want fathers to get together. I want to see, like, about starting with, like, at least 20 fathers, you know, like, just something, you know, so they know it's a movement. We gotta gather up, do an event, so we could just speak up, break bread, and everybody could just know what's going on, because there's some fathers that's dealing with child support. There's some fathers that only got like 2 days out the week, visits. There's some fathers that don't got no type of justice, so we could just break everything down. Like, if you going through child support, maybe you could speak to these other 5 fathers that's going through child support to see how you guys could work out what's going on with the situation.
Yo, bro, you have to do this, bro.
I'm already, I'm doing it.
You have to do this,
I'm already doing it. And then right now, I went to the auction. I ended up finding a truck.
That's dope, bro.
And right now, the truck that I got, I just did a GoFundMe to see if everybody want to help me support the movement, so I could be able to wrap up the truck with the Father Speak Up movement. Because right now, I don't have an office, I don't have nothing. I'm doing this from the heart, and I love doing it. But now I feel like just for it could be more like certified, I feel like it would look better if I like interview fathers with the truck in the background in front of court, because fathers passing by seeing the truck parked in the front, they're going to be like, what?
Approach, right.
What's this? I'm going through this. There's a movement for fathers, or anywhere is just going to continue to spread awareness itself, because, you know, the cause out there is going to be wrapped up.
It's going to be, you could see it.
Yeah.
Like, so I did notice that you fighting for your son now. You fighting to see your son.
Yes, I got 3 years fighting to see my son.
3 years to see your son. And what's the deal with that? What's going on?
Like the situation with me not seeing my son. I was in my child's life since he was a baby until he was 5 years old. Then I got incarcerated. When I was incarcerated, I used to speak to my son every day. But then when I came out, the mom was making it difficult for me to see my child. She was dealing with somebody else, and I guess he was becoming jealous. I don't really know what happened there, but all I know is that I tried to file a petition, and like we know common friends, I guess somebody told her, oh, he's filing a petition. So she did like an emergency one, did a whole order of protection against me, lied about a whole bunch of stuff, and then once they start saying anything, it sticks, you know? If you go ahead and be like, oh, she did this and this and this, they won't listen to you. But when it comes to a female saying whatever it is, it just sticks. You get arrested. Got arrested like 2 times and stuff like that.
For this, or for something that she said?
Of something that she said. The second time, I actually had the proof time and date that I was at work. It was on a Sunday. I'm actually off that day, but I decided to do some overtime. So I was lucky that I was working and I had proof.
Right.
When I took it to court, the only thing they did was dismiss the case, and they left it like that, you know? So she didn't get no penalty, not in trouble. Nothing. It was just case closed, you know?
It's so foul, because even when my son's mother, certain court date or certain visitations, she would violate. And then I would go back to court, you know, and they wouldn't do anything. It was just like, oh, okay, yeah, don't do that no more. And that was it.
Definitely. So me, I got 3 years fighting for my son. I actually put a video out, like, the last time I saw my son, it was already getting hot out. Like, it was like in the middle of March.
And your son's birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday. Yesterday. Thank you. April 5th. Happy birthday to Dionis.
Happy birthday, man.
So, yes, it was getting warm out. So he had his own phone. I FaceTimed him. I actually made a video. I was like, look, Dionis, it's hot out. There's a lot of kids in the park.
Right.
Trying to, like, convince them to go out with me. And he's like, all right, Dad, I'll go out with you, pick me up. We went to the park. We played, had ice cream. I bought him, like, a little BMW bike. And that was the last time I saw him.
How long ago was this?
This was, like, March 23rd, 2021.
You know the exact date.
Exact date.
The last time you seen your son. That's deep, bro.
So then after that, she's telling me I can't see him. I don't know what's going on. Then I passed by his block. I saw his grandmother and his grandfather, and they're like, oh, this is the last time you're going to see your son. Give him a big hug and give him a big kiss. Wow. So I was just like confused. I was just like hug him, kiss him, like not really worrying about what they saying, because I didn't get it. So then when I walked away, I didn't like pay mind to the envelope I had. So when I got home, I opened it, and it was that I got served. I got an order of protection. I can't be next to her or my son. So I was like, what's going on?
How does that happen? How did she just go to the court and just say that you're doing, like, how does that happen?
You know, she just said, my son is scared of me. I'm scared. She's scared of me. I can't get next to her. Nothing like that. So I was just like, wow, I gotta go to court. So this is something I didn't know. When somebody file against you, you need to file too. It's like the cat and the mouse. And a lot of fathers, a lot of people don't know that. So once you get somebody gives you a petition that they filing against you, right? You need to go to court and file against them too. Because if you don't, you're just there for them. And you're not gonna be able to have the right to speak. So once that happens, you gotta file the petition, like, you know? And then if you file a petition, like a lot of fathers, we don't want to take the children's from the mom. So a lot of fathers, when we file for visitations, which is not good to do. Because when you file for visitations, like when it comes to fathers and they like downballing us, what happens is they give you the category that goes under that one. So it'll be on visitation, supervised visits, you know, through Zoom, stuff like that. So if you file for full custody, that from right there, you're able to get the visitations because now you copping out to something, then you get the one that's under it. So that's why I tell a lot of fathers, if you're fighting for your child, always fight for custody so you could be able to get visitations. Because if you do visitations, then you'll get supervised visits because they're already probably speaking bad about the father. Because what happened is, as soon as you're not with the mom no more, like that's it. Like they want things to go bad for you, especially if you're a great father trying to be there for your child. They think they're hurting you, not knowing they're actually hurting the child. So they want to put us through the progress, to the system, and they trying to break us. And we just got to stand on the 10 toes and, you know, just have faith, be positive, and just continue to fight. Because as soon as you take it to court, you just got to fight in court. There's nothing else to do.
And I want to ask you, when you was taking her to court to see us, I know you're still in it now. Do you have that support, like from family, friends? Like, do people support you in that?
Of course.
That's what's up, bro.
Like right now with the lawyers that I've been spending money on, it's hard for me to just go out of my pocket. So my mom's to help me out, my brothers, like, yo, you know, because they know how I am with my son. Like, I
don't mean to cut you off. I went down your post from, like, your Instagram, from years ago. Like, you had all of your posters about your son. Prior to FatherSpeakUp, prior to, you going to jail, prior to anything that you was fighting for, I could see that you were, like, that top-tier dad. Like, with your son all day in the park. Like, I seen it. So I would think that people would want to support that.
Definitely. I motivated a lot of fathers to be fathers, you know, like them seeing me with my kid, me taking him to Disney World on a Disney cruise, you know, like my first vacation I ever took was with my son, you know, so that's something that, you know, I admire, I love it, and I'm glad that, you know, like, let's say if I spend like $7,000 on a trip, you know, then I'll come back home with no money, but at least I was able to experience that time with my son, so that means everything to me right there, you know.
And yo, it's dope that you had that support, because when I was going through it, bro, my family, you know, like people close to me was looking at me like what I was doing was taboo. Because, not to try to shit on anybody or nothing, but it was just unheard of. Like the father taking the mother to court to be, you know, in his children's lives. Like, nobody in my family had done that. Nobody. So it was like, I was by myself. The only person I had was my wife. Like, but as far as like money, I couldn't afford no lawyer. You know, nobody was going to help me with no lawyer. Nobody was coming with me to no court dates. Like, it was nothing. Like, bro, I was so dolo. So it's so good to hear, like, you have that support, because I know what it means to have that type of support.
Yeah, definitely.
That's.
I was supposed to start supervised visits, you know, to see my son. So first we did it through video, and my son said, "Oh, I don't want nothing to do with you. Leave me alone." And then it's like if somebody's right here, like in the background, you know, the mom is brainwashing my child.
I went through that with my son.
To tell him certain things, and then if he don't say, "Oh, I'm taking your PlayStation, you're not gonna go on this trip, you're not gonna do this," so our children start getting brainwashed and manipulated. Like, you need to do this, or this is gonna happen. Now, children, they do have their own lawyers, but then the lawyers, they just go with whatever they say. They don't go by the body language.
No.
And I feel like lawyers just say whatever the child says, because I feel like they'll get in trouble. They be like, "Oh, I think the child is lying," and then it's their job in the line. But I feel like lawyers should like do a little bit more research on the child, and they don't really do that. Most of the time when the lawyer is speaking to the child, the mom will be right then and there, or she'll be in the other room, but she already had prepared him to go in that room. Don't say nothing and stuff like that, because there's no way my son wouldn't love me, you know. So now we're supposed to start doing supervised visits.
Right.
We try to do supervised visits 3 times.
So I'm gonna cut you off. Did they, like, why did they give you supervised visits and not just visits?
They gave me supervised visits because the mom already put an order of protection against me, you know, and then she like, "Oh, he was locked up.
Right.
You know, my child is scared of me," and stuff like that. My son's mother's grandfather passed away. My son's grandfather passed away. So then right there, she said, "Oh, I can't do the supervised visits because the child is traumatized because he was close to his grandfather." And I was like, That's good of a reason. So then when I had to go back to court 4 months later, because they told me once a week for the 4 months, see how it goes, and then from there we'll come back, and then depending what the supervisor says,
right.
then right there we are able to see what goes after that. So then what happened after that was she went back to court. She said, oh, I couldn't go and make it because my father passed away and I had to spend all the expenses, his funeral and stuff like that. So then from there, I was crying because I'm like, look, I got 4 months already trying to find where my son is at, where he's located. I don't know what's going on. Like, who's going to help me? My lawyer is not in my favor. Nobody's in my favor. So when I came out of court, the judge telling me, like, oh, we're going to find out May 15th from December. I was like, 5 months later, and I already got like 3 years without seeing my son. I was already so hyped up that I was going to start supervised visits because I know as soon as he see me face to face, he know everything is gonna
change. Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
So then after that, I was like, what am I gonna do? So when I came out of court, I started crying. I was mad. I had like about $400 on me, and I was like, I spent so much money on lawyers thinking that that's gonna get me some type of justice, you know, with the support from my family and stuff like that, and us paying money with lawyers is still not getting me no justice. So like I took the money and I threw it
up. And that's when I remember
I was like, I'm like, if the money, nothing is working, like, I was just mad, like, even you spending the money, because I would have thought maybe that would get me some type of justice. I have a great lawyer, and they be able to do something for me. So at that time, I'm like, nobody's helping me, so I made a video. I didn't even know I was making a video. Like, I was just so mad, and then I just threw the money, and next thing you know, 1.2 million people saw that. You know?
I wanted to, like, that's a lot, bro. Like, that's heavy. I don't think people understand, like, we are human. You feel me?
Definitely.
Like, that shit, fighting for my son like that shit took a lot out of me. I wanted to ask you, was it any point of that fight where you felt like you was ready to throw it away? Like, you was just ready to quit?
Nah, I didn't even have that in my thought to quit, of the fact that it's not my son that's the problem. It's the mom trying to take me away from my son. My son is young. He don't know what's going on. And I'm his father. I know him. I love him. So at the end of the day, I can't just take all my anger out on him or be like, you know what, I'm going to give up on my son, because that's what the mom wants. So I always continue having that faith I'm going to continue fighting no matter how long I have to, because he's my son. I know him. I've been in his life. I know the relationship I got with him. So I'm going to continue to fight until the wheels fall off. Like,
that's dope.
It doesn't matter to me.
That's strong, because I can't say the same for myself. Like, it got to a point for me, I was 3 years in, it felt like forever, you know, then child support, then just kept fighting. It definitely had got to a point where I was like feeling like I'm ready to give up. Like, I was depressed, I was stressing, you could see it, you know, I was fighting with friends and family. Like, I was just I had that black cloud over me, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit really took a lot out of me. And it was definitely a time in that process where I was willing to give her what she want, to show her that that's not really what she want. Like, you know, so just, that's kudos to you, bro.
Sometimes that happens too. Once you show that you don't care, then they'll be like, all right, come, you can see your kid. But if you show that you do care, they're going to be like, nah, you're not going to see him. You know,
it's like they take it for granted.
Yeah,
like when I had my daughter with my wife now, everything changed with my son's mother. Like, everything changed. Like, she pushed him on me. You know, it was different. It was a whole different dynamic. I was getting sent baby pictures, like everything. Like, I feel like what people don't understand about fathers is we don't care to just be weekend dads. Like, we don't care to, like, we want to be a part of our children's life every day, day to day. I want to know what school he go to. I want to know, you know, what's his favorite fruit? What's his favorite? I just want to be a part of his development. Like, and to, you know, to have your son with you every day and to just have that stripped away from you, I think it goes into a whole slew of shit, like mental health. It goes into, like, you know, depression, just why some of us end up in jail. You feel me? Why some of us end up as drunks. Why some of us end up just fucked up as people. Like, if you go back into a lot of men's stories, a lot of it will stem from fatherhood. Not being able to just be there, having something taken away from them. And I feel like for us, like men like us, it's important for us to be a part of our kids' day to day.
1,000%, because we're gonna give them that discipline.
Discipline,
if they fall down, we're gonna be like, get up, get up.
A lot of people don't know, like my new followers, they don't know that like I went through that shit. I fought for my son for 3 years. You know what I mean? He was two. His mom moved more than 5 hours away. You feel me? She hit me with we leaving tomorrow. So it wasn't even like a prep or whatever. She left. I tried to find out, like, come to a solution as when I'm going to see him. She had no solution as to when I was going to see him. And it got to a point where I did that. I went up to the courthouse, put in my visitation, put in my joint custody and everything like that. And they played a lot of games with me, like the court systems. It was hard, bro. Like, that shit fucks with me. That shit fucks with me, bro. Like, yeah, went up there, I put in my visitation. I got visitation. I got when they give you a visitation order, like a pre-visitation order, whatever.
Temporary.
I got a temporary order. But the problem was, being that she had left and she moved more than 5 hours away, when I went up there to get the court date was like for like another year. So yeah, after
that was COVID time too, or no?
Nah, this was years ago. This was 2012, 2013, 2014. Okay. I was going through this shit, like, and after 6 months, if the mother's living in another jurisdiction for more than 6 months, that state has jurisdiction. So being that my court date was over 6 months, I would have been fucked, So I had to write the letter to the judge that was on my docket, explaining the situation to her, and she granted me an earlier court date. So it don't stop there. I got the court date, and this is what, why I appreciate what you do, bro, because the courts could be a scary thing for fathers. They make you feel like you don't have no wins. Like the way they was treating me in there, bro, like the way they was doing me in there for trying to fight for my son to see him, it was crazy. My court date actually wound up getting dismissed out of nowhere. No reasoning behind it. After going to court for a couple months, I just got a letter in the mail said that it was dismissed. Like, random. So I had to go back up to New York, the Queens Courthouse, file another petition, start the whole shit over. At this month, she was in another state for 9 months. So Queens Court is saying, we don't have jurisdiction anymore. So I had to beg the judge to look into the prior case, because I was like, they just dismissed the case for no reason. You know what I mean? So what the judge wound up finding out was that judge retired. The previous judge, she retired, and she just dismissed the case. So I wound up having to go through that. I was in court for about 2-3 years. I got the visitation order, but it was the temporary visitation order. My joint custody shit was voided, whatever, because the first one I tried to file joint custody with visitation, but being that shit got dismissed, technically the judge didn't have jurisdiction at this time, so she was just working with me. I'm not gonna lie, she was working with me. So it comes to a point with the court where I guess you and the mother have to make that decision. Y'all have to make up the schedule, and y'all have to come to an agreement, and the court just finalize it. So
yes,
all of that shit, it just led me right back to having to ask the mother and deal with the mother, which a person that didn't want to deal with me, didn't want me to see my son. I had to come right back to her and come up with a plan to see him. So we can't, I had to bend the knee a little bit, that's the foulest shit about the court system, I feel like. I had to bend the knee a little bit and get what I could get to see my son.
Definitely. There's a powerful motion that you could file when that happens to fathers or any of us, that the other parent goes with our consent to a different state. there's a motion called expedite motion, and the expedite motion means that you didn't give the child or the court gave them consent to go to a different state or country, anywhere that is not where he needs to be, where the father's at and stuff like that. So once you put that, the judge needs to see you within 72 hours. So I tell a lot of fathers when they're going through that, to file the motion, but do it early as possible so you could be able to see the judge right then and there. So you're going to see the judge, you tell them that she went to a different state or country without your permission, and then they're going to give you papers. You're going to just have to serve her, and then she's going to have to come back.
Nice.
You know, so.
Nice. Yo, that's the type of shit that I didn't know.
Yeah.
That's the type.
I didn't know either. I just learned with the movement now, you know,
bro, that's why
going through it.
Yeah, that's why you were so dope, bro, because you giving us the knowledge without us having to bust our brains to go out and try to find it, which I feel like fathers should do anyway. Like, do your Google researches, read your fucking books, put your footwork in to go see your kid, because it's not easy. But you are a big help for that. Yeah. I wanted to speak on your panel. I don't know, he went to Rikers? You've been to Rikers already.
Yeah.
But the panel, where was that? That was
in the Beacon.
In the Beacon.
Yeah.
My boy done been everywhere. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, you be actively putting in that footwork, bro. Like me, I stay in my lane. I know what my lane is with this. I inspire a lot of fathers to father and to be top tier dads, not just be a dad. And then you do the same thing. Like, and you do it in an actively way. Like, you're physically there, you know, and that right there can be a big turning point for a lot of dudes. But yeah, I wanted to talk about the panel. You was talking to the because they ain't want no smoke with you. They didn't even know how to handle you, bro. Like, you just broke it down. Like, fathers want to be involved in their kids' lives. The system is not for us, and yo, you kind of stumped them.
Yeah, definitely.
You kind of stumped them, bro.
She, like the chamber lady, like, she actually, like, she was like, she even responded to me, like, because sometimes when you go over there, they can hear you, but they don't have to ask you no questions.
Oh.
You know, so she actually let me answer 2 questions afterwards. So that's something that I was like very good, and I was nervous because it's my first time doing
bro,
it.
But you did that shit, bro. That's why I'm like, that's why I commend you, bro, because, bro, I'm not that type of person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the type of guy to be out there in front of family court with the, like, yo, let's get it. Like, that's when I seen that, bro, that shit really, it touched me, bro. Like, no Diddy. but it really touched me, bro. I was like, damn, bro, that's different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. So I don't know if you want to speak about the FatherSpeakUp.
Yeah,
like,
so
do you have any place like they could go and like donate to that or
right now on my Instagram, on my bio, I got the GoFundMe.
And I'm gonna put your shit up on the thing.
Yeah, so we could just get that out there because that's something I'm really looking forward, because I feel like after that I could start doing like a podcast and put it out there right then. It's already getting hot out.
Right.
And then I could start interviewing fathers for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour. Doesn't matter how much time they need, we could do it. But right now, I'm just like interviewing fathers. I do it for like 1 minute and 40 seconds. So it could be a reel, because with the reel, it spread more awareness, and then it reposts it. People could.
And that's what I was going to get on too. Like, the difference between like the other father organizations, and I'm not going to say any names, the other father organizations, and what you're doing with FatherSpeakUp is that you're attacking its social media. Like, and social media is like the real game. Like, that's what's getting people to pay attention. Like, people are not going to be like into having to do the work to look for the organization. Like, your shit is like right there. You in front of Queens Courthouse. Like, it's just different.
Because you know what it is? Like,
it feels so different.
If there's another movement out there, like the fathers got, like, they just doing things individually. Like, they'll probably take
what it is.
They'll probably like, hey, come to my office. What's going on? Right in the book.
That's what it is.
Then they'll just put it under the desk. What we doing is we're trying to ask the world for help. We want the world to know what fathers are going through, and that we need fathers' rights, you know, because why is all the fathers going through this? Why once the mom says this and this, now we don't get no type of justice? You know, we have the right to? Because right now we're supposed to have the 50-50 joint custody, mom and dad, but it doesn't happen here, you know? Right now in Florida, it goes in effect July 1st. Single or married, fathers and the mothers going to have the 50-50 joint custody. Right now, 3 laws that I want to change for fathers is this.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I want to do a mandatory paternity test. As soon as the woman is 6 months pregnant, you could do a mandatory paternity test for you to know that child is yours, because what happened is 10, 12 years down the line, things don't start working out with the mom. That's not even your child. You're not even the father. So now, if you're not,
still gotta pay child
if you're not the father and you sign that birth certificate, you have 90 days to appeal it. If you don't appeal it,
90 days
if you don't appeal it within 90 days, that means you and that birth certificate, you the father, you're gonna have to pay the child support regardless. And I feel like that's unfair, because who's gonna know within 90 days that that's not their child and things like that. Number 2 is because a lot of fathers are paying child support. A lot of fathers now, they don't even want to work. They don't even want to work in the books.
That was me.
Because all the money is going to the mother. So child support to me, I feel like it's for deadbeats. Because if you're a father and you want to be there for the child, why would you have to be on child support? You're going to provide for your child when you're there for him, And if you can help the mom, you can help the mom out. But you're going to know what your child needs, what he wants, because you're going to be present,
Yeah.
So that's what I feel about it. With the child support, what I want to do is I want to put in a sample of an EBT, like a food stamp.
I heard you say that on your panel. That's
the money is being spent on our children, not the mom doing her nails and things like that. And I feel like if we get this law changed, a lot of mothers or anybody that's dealing with child support, they're not going to want to put the other person on child support, because now they're going to be like, it's not going to work in my favor. Just give me whatever you could, behind the scene, and we don't got to go through that. I feel like that, because
I'm with you on that 100%.
I feel like with child support, the money goes to the mom, nothing goes to the child. Or if it goes to the child, we want no proof. What did you spend the money on for my son or my daughter? I want to know. And also, this is just a little extra, but every time we do pay child support, why we can't get a little phone call for my kids? Oh, yeah, Dad, I got this, for they could know that we supporting them, we providing for them. Because if we paying child support and the children's, if we not there or anything, how they know that we providing for them, So
the second law that Father Speak Up would like to change is the child support, getting the EBT card to be able to show where that money is going. And we're not saying that all mothers spend the money on bullshit.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? But as a human, as a person, as a father, you just would like to know where your money is going.
The third one is the law that they just putting in Florida, that we able to get the 50-50 joint custody, single or divorced, it doesn't matter, as long as the child is in good hands and you're the father, of course, that you able to see him or something
bro, this was dope. I commend you so much, because to be going through it and to be helping other people is difficult. When I was going through it, I didn't have it in me to help nobody else. When I was in the court systems fighting for my son, fighting to see him, I did not have it in me to help somebody else. I just didn't have it in me. Physically, not that I didn't want to, but I just didn't have it in me physically. So for you to be to be able to do that and going through your shit, it shows how selfless you are. I became a black cloud when I couldn't see my son. You didn't want to be around me. So for you to have that, this is why I commend you, bro. And I'm going to keep doing that, because I've been there and I know how difficult that is, bro. To be going through that, not seeing your own flesh and blood, but helping other people get their success.
Definitely.
That's so selflessness, bro. That shit is crazy, bro.
Yep. Get to the fact.
Okay.
Get to the facts.
Get to the So facts. 17.8 of custodial parents in the United States are actually fathers.
Wow.
Which is crazy, right? So this statistic is a powerful reminder that fathers increasingly taking on the role of custodial parents in the United States. It highlights the fact that fathers are no longer just the breadwinners, but are actively involved in the day-to-day care of their children. This statistic is a testament to the changing dynamics of family life and the importance of fathers in the lives of their children. So, for me, what I got from this statistic was that fathers want to be part of their kids' lives day to day. We don't care to just be the breadwinners. We don't care to just be weekend dads. We want to be actively day to day fathers, and 17.8% of us is actually doing it. You have anything to add to that?
Yeah, like what happens is with this is like we great fathers. We want to be there,
Yep.
so we want to see our children raised. We want to see them do good. You know,
Right. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Yo, Dionis, this is not like usually how I ended the other one, but I'm gonna just come over to you, bro. I love you, bro. I love what you're doing, bro.
Thank you for having me here today,
bro.
my brother.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. Thanks for listening to the show. Tune in to Intentional Growing Men. Review, subscribe on YouTube. Instagram is Kings and Queens. That's KINGZ NQUEENZ, the number 7. Review, subscribe, like, share, comment, let us know your thoughts. This was one of those ones. How was that?
Perfect.
Yo, Dionis, bro. You my bro, bro.
Nah.
You my guy now,
Nah,
bro.
you ready,
So,
bro?
yes, sir.
Definitely.
I appreciate you, bro. This was